Now is the time to put together your family's hurricane kit. You should have a gallon of water per person per day for 4 days. Also include non-perishable foods, a month's supply of prescription medicines, and personal documents. And don't forget a flashlight, batteries, and a first aid kit. For a complete list, go to our hurricane guide. You can find it at cbsmiami.com. Here's some important information about flood insurance. If you live in a flood zone, you should strongly consider a separate federal flood policy. Homeowners insurance doesn't cover flood damage, and some policies already require it. For example, by 2027, all Citizens residential policies that include wind coverage will have to have separate flood coverage. Depending on where you live, a flood insurance policy can cost as little as $500 a year. Check with your insurance agent, and keep in mind a new flood insurance policy takes 30 days before it goes into effect.
I'm next weather meteorologist Lissette Gonzalez in the next weather sphere. Regardless of what the threat or hazard is, when a watch or warning is issued during hurricane season, you need to know the difference. A watch is issued when storm conditions are possible in the next 72 hours. When a watch is issued, you should be prepared and be alert, since conditions are favorable for dangerous weather within that time frame. Now, a warning is when conditions are imminent within 36 hours or happening. A warning means you need to take action. Now, if a tropical storm warning is issued, you will want to lower and secure umbrellas, bring cushions indoors, and secure light outdoor furniture. If a hurricane warning is issued, you'll need to take immediate action to secure your home, bring in outdoor furniture, and install hurricane shutters. Now, after a warning is issued, you may be ordered to evacuate, so you need to know your zone. And here in South Florida, every county is different. Broward County has 2 evacuation zones. The evacuation order depends on the severity of the storm. Evacuation Plan A that you see here in red is for a Category 1 or 2 hurricane with a storm surge of 4 to 7 feet above sea level. So that means all mobile home residents, residents near tidal bodies of water in low-lying areas, and residents east to the intercoastal waterway should evacuate. Evacuation Plan B, which is in orange here, is for Category 3 hurricanes or higher due to the threat of storm surge of 7 to 11 feet above sea level and winds of 111 miles per hour or greater. Now, both of these zones impact mostly the coastal cities in Broward, places like Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, Deerfield Beach. You will all want to be weather aware. Miami-Dade County is a completely different story. It's split into 5 evacuation zones marked A through E. Zone A is shaded in red, is at greatest risk for storm surge for Category 1 and higher storms. That's portions of Cutler Bay, Coral Gables, Key Biscayne, and area around Biscayne National Park. Zone B, shaded in orange, is at risk for storm surge for Category 2 and higher storms. So this includes southern Miami-Dade County, portions of Cutler Bay, and Miami Beach. Zone C in yellow is at risk for storm surge in Category 3 or higher. That's the remaining portions of Homestead and Cutler Bay you see here, and Pinecrest and Coral Gables, as well as North Bay Village. Zone D in green is for areas at greatest risk for Category 4 hurricane and higher. So that includes you and Kendall, the Hammocks, the Palmetto Estates, as well as portions of Hialeah and Aventura. This would impact you. And the final zone E, shaded in blue, is at risk for Category 5 or higher. Look at how far west that goes into Miami-Dade County. It's the remaining portions of the Hammocks into Sweetwater and eastern sections of Doral. As you can see, for the Keys, they're all in an evacuation zone, but Monroe County's emergency plan calls for a phased evacuation. This evacuation plan is intended to avoid unnecessary evacuation if some zones are expected to be affected and others are not. But more importantly, you should develop an evacuation plan. Always be prepared to go. Have a to-go kit for each family member. Of course, know your zone. I already mentioned this. Have a disaster plan and stay informed through the media. And you need to go when you're told to go. Stay with family and friends for the inland areas in a non-evacuation zone, and shelter should be the last resort. Leave early and keep your gas tank full. In the next weather sphere, I'm next weather meteorologist Lissette Gonzalez.